live right now?
It's going.
Hey there, it's Ashley Krieger here. Today I want to show you my art studio setup, which is literally in a corner of our master bedroom. So if you think you have a small space to do art, I have a small space to do art and to teach art and to sell art. So I'm going to show you how I organize this and keep it all together. So first of all, you can see that I have my easel right here. And this is an easel I can take with me wherever and set it up wherever I want and move it, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to move it aside. So I usually take a chair from over here and then just set up my easel. Alright, so if you can come down here, you can take a look at this nifty wood thing that my husband made for me. So usually I use this as a drying rack for my art students to put their art on. But as you can see, it kind of turned into something else. This is where I organize all of my art supplies, and there's a lot of them. So right here I have my printer, which I do a lot of scanning my artwork. And then I have my tall brushes that I use for my oil paints up here, and I use a lot of jars for everything. I have my pencil sharpener right here, which I let my toddler use all the time with my pencils because they get broke a lot. And then just, you know, some office supplies up here, my business cards, my palette knives, my scissors, and then I have my sprays way in the back so that my kids don't get to them. So my varnishes and stuff like that I use to protect my art pieces. I put my papers in this little slot right here, and I keep all my papers together if I can. If they're big papers, then I put them right here on the side so that they don't get folded over and things like that. And then I keep a lot of things on this side. And I keep my palette, which is not clean, right over here for my acrylics and my watercolors. And then if you can see over here, I put my oil back here because it takes a long time to dry. So I just keep it away from all these little hands that are up here. And then I have my kids sections throughout here. So I have my my canvas panels and some boards for kids to put their artwork on so that it doesn't move around. And then I have my kids paint brushes back here, and then kids colored pencils, watercolor pencils, that kind of thing. In here I have my Pebeo paints, and if you've seen in my videos, I use Pebeo paints on glass, and so I have that all in here, and whatever I use frequently with them, I put it all in the same container. Under that I have crayons, and I tried putting this on top of that, but it didn't work out. So, and the kids get into these a lot. So this is mostly kids stuff, but some of it I use. I always place my pens in these containers, so I have, that's my pencils. I have my artist pens. You do not want to put these in glass containers or anything upright because the ink will settle on the bottom and you'll just run out of ink a lot. So I have my artist pens in here, my drawing pencils in here with my erasers that go along with it, my charcoal right in here. This is everything so I can just grab it and be like, we're having a charcoal lesson today. And gel pens and other pens like that we use frequently. Markers back here. My glue and scissors are put in one tote. And then I have, which is really, really handy for little kids, these to put on pencils and color pencils. And this helps them with their grip because a lot of kids have trouble with their grips. So those are handy if you notice your kid has a bad grip. Okay, so all of these things are the supplies for the kids, and they're kind of intermixed because I use some of them as well. In this big basket is the kids' acrylic, And then in the front is my acrylics, so yes, they're mixed, but I just pull out the acrylics if I'm going to use them. And then I have these that need to be used up. And then I put my acrylic paintbrushes in a jar, and I just keep them with the acrylics, so I don't mix my paintbrushes with acrylics and watercolors and oils. It's all falling out. So I just grabbed the whole basket, which is really, really nice. Then over here, I have my watercolor basket, and it has gouache in it and watercolor tape, brushes, some flowing liquid, my masking fluid, oil pastels because I use oil pastels sometimes with my watercolors, a little watercolor palette, my kids' watercolors. So as you can see, I have my fancy ones with my kids because it really doesn't take that much space. So I put that in here. Hey, I found my ruler. I've been looking for my ruler for a while. Got shoved back there. So my rulers go over here. I don't know why that was over there. Okay, and then I have usually a toddler trying to get into my stuff. So I put these mess-free color sheets in here. And then I have down here a bag for my toddler that has his little apron and the mess-free markers and colored pencils that are bigger and fatter for their little hands, and some big paintbrushes and stuff just to entertain them so I can get some work done. And then in this basket right here I have my oils, and I also have oils in my easel that's over here. But these are the big things that I can't fit into my little easel over there. And, you know, it includes some of the things I use to stretch canvases and to hang up my canvases. And I just try to keep it all contained. Then, last but not least in this area is my miscellaneous. Because, you know, when you're trying to be creative and create art, you can't just think inside the box. So you know, have to have things like puffy paint that glows in the dark, and just, you know, some hot glue, and this is supposed to be with my drawing. Some things like that happen. And hole punchers and that kind of thing. So there's wire in here, beads, and all sorts of random things that I try to keep like contained in this basket. And I go through it quite frequently and get rid of stuff that we're not using because I can't just keep everything. I have this small space. Over here, I've put more papers, the kids' papers, and some tissue paper. And this used to be all full, but we've been going through it quite a lot. I keep my business stuff in one place, and it just all fits in here. I don't have like a desk, so all of my business stuff, which is my contracts and you know, when you have a commission or whatever, you have to have all those contracts, and I just scan them and then I give them to my customers. So this is the stuff that doesn't fit, you know, in a nice place. So my big canvases and frames and stuff like that all go over here. I have a lot of little art canvases that need to be sold. And this stuff right here is all the artwork that I need to photograph before I send it to like a gallery or I put it online or whatever. So I have to get better photographs, which takes me to my camera, which I'm saving up for a nice camera, a nice digital camera. But what I used to use is this just film camera to take pictures of my art. And then I have all of my video type stuff in this bag. And that's it. So let's move on to how I do my videos. So a lot of people might be interested in this who are on YouTube, but if you're not on YouTube, you're probably like, yeah, that's cool. But we kind of built this thing right here. You see in my videos I've had several different backdrops. That's because I've been in different rooms. But I have these lights, one overhead, two on the sides, and just this table with a cover on it, 2 chairs for my kids and me, and then I put the camera up on here. This is kind of our idea of what Casey built, my husband, and then I used the cords, these to put the cords in, and that's about it. That's my studio. So I hope you had fun looking at it. Maybe you got some ideas from it to organize your own art work and your own art supplies, and I will see you next week with another video. Thanks. Bye. I feel a little squishy.